Good morning, everybody. It is day 8 of building the business. And today's topic I want to talk about is failure. See, I have a fear of failing, not in an overall term, right? So when I set a goal or I want something, I don't tend to think about the failure in the overall task because I know that I'll accomplish it for the most part. So that's not where my fear of failure comes in. My fear of failure anxiety actually comes from individual tasks. Like, let's say that like I'm building my services webpage, right? My page that's literally the sales page of this Martin Vacation Properties, this venture that to build a business, to actually build a brand, not build a brand. I'm sorry. Building this site. That's my sales page basically, to be able to build up our company, to be able to manage more properties. That service page is it. That's where you're going to capture the sale. That's where they're going to give you their information. That's where they're going to be interested enough to get on a call with you. And so instantly as I'm working through it, I get anxiety that I'm not going to do it right, or I'm going to fail. And so this has happened to me for years because I've been a software developer for years and years and years, and done design work because I was doing drafting and design before I was in technology and things like that. But I would get this anxiety whenever, like, let's say that I was tasked with building a certain component, coding wise, like I had to build a part of a component for software. I would get a whole lot of anxiety, especially if there was an unknown variable, right? Like, hey, it's something that hasn't been done before. You're basically inventing something. You're going to have to go out and figure it out. I get a little bit of anxiety that I was going to fail or I wouldn't be able to do it. So I had to quickly, because that anxiety, that fear of failure can be really debilitating, and it can hold you back. And so I have to find ways to deal with that. And the ways that we deal with things like things that cause fear or anxiety, right? Fear and anxiety should be an alarm. We shouldn't let it go off. It should be like our security alarm in our house, right? Nobody lets their security alarm just go off, go on and on and on. Somebody comes in the door, the alarm goes off, and we just let it keep going off, right? It did its job. It warned us that the door has been opened or somebody has come into the house, but now we need to go turn that alarm off. So I'm not saying that you should never have fear or you should never have anxiety or worry. What I'm saying is that you need to treat it as what it is and treat it in the right way. And how we treat it in the right way is, one, we have a plan, right? Like, if our security alarm goes off, I have that security alarm. If I didn't have a plan of something to do with somebody that sets that alarm off, right, then there's no need for me to have that alarm in the first place. The alarm that I have set up in the house is to alert me so that I can take my next planned action, right? Like, I pre-planned what my next action is. If you break into my house, you don't want to break into my house, because if I'm home and the alarm goes off and you break into my house, you can guarantee I have 100% have a plan on what I'm doing next, right? That's why I put in the alarm, right? That was part of the process. I was like, I don't want somebody to break in the house. I need to be able to take action against that person. Well, naturally, I need to be pre-warned because I need about 30 seconds. I need that 30-second pre-warning so that nobody ends up on top of me while I'm sleeping, right? So, so we need to do the same thing with anxiety and worry and fear. We need to treat those the same way. right? They are just a warning system for us. Warning. It's just a warning system. So with that, you need to have a plan, a pre-plan for what you're going to do when those alarms go off. So for me, I had to find a way to deal with, like, what does it mean whenever I'm getting anxious, when I have a fear of failure, when I think I'm going to fail? What is failure? And what if I do fail, right? What if it doesn't work out? So I started looking at it in a different way. And the way I look at it is failure is the cost of success, right? It is on the steps of success. If success is at the top, the failures that I have, things that don't work out, right? They are the material that makes up the small successes as I go up the steps, right? So if each success is a small step that I've made, right? Like, I mastered the product, right? There was step one, right? I mastered the product on my way up this mountain of getting to where I want to be with my vacation rental company, right? So if that is step one, I mastered the product. Well, I failed at it probably several times before I got that right. Like, I had my guest communications and, the guests didn't even know which driveway to park in. They didn't know which they didn't know which, door to go to. They're trying to put the code in the wrong door, or, the cleaner had left the mop out because we didn't have inspections. And so all of those little failures that we made, right, and then corrected, have led us to where we have a sustainable, really good product with great guest experience. And then that was, step one. So failure is actually the cost of admission to success, right? So failure can either be the material for the step on the way up the ladder to where you want to go, or if you allow it to be, and this is what a lot of people allow it to be. This is why not everybody owns their own business. This is why not everyone is an entrepreneur. This is why not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. You have to, if you make failure a ceiling, right? So my daughter, she's 10 years old, Anna Grace. You'll see her on these videos. She loves YouTube. I totally get her involved. You can see her at the end of this video, in the little slide I have at the end of the video. She'll be in some of these videos. She's 10 years old now, but early on, when she was 5, 6 years old, when we started getting her into, like, hey, Anna, let's go do some sort of activity. Like, let's get you in soccer. Let's get you in swimming. Let's get you in, these different things. She had a real fear of failure, of doing things wrong. Like, she really overanalyzes a lot of things that she does, in the fact that she does not want to fail. She just can't handle the failure part. And I remember whenever she was trying to learn how to, like, the boys at her school really, they were like doing the monkey bars, and she really wanted to be able to do the monkey bars. And she just could not do it. She was not strong enough. And so she just didn't want to do it at all, because she thought, well, I tried, I could not do it, and so that's it. And I had to try to explain to my 6-year-old daughter that things in life, you're going to fail, and you're not going to be able to do it. But if you keep trying and you keep going and you keep learning from the mistakes you make, you will in the end succeed. And that is how professional athletes, singers, and things like that's how they make it, right? So a professional athlete is just made up of a lot of training, a lot of failure, right? So those guys that go out and play pro golf, Tiger Woods, yeah, he's got some talent, when it comes to playing golf, but anybody could play golf like Tiger Woods if they were willing to put in the time and the effort, right? So Tiger Woods goes out on the driving range and he keeps swinging the club until he can't swing it the wrong way. He keeps swinging it and hitting the ball until he cannot hit the ball the wrong way. A singer sings a song that they want to sing on tour until they cannot sing it the wrong way. That is what makes somebody great. And that's what we have to do, right? If we cannot make failure a ceiling, because if we make failure a ceiling, if my daughter had decided, oh, I tried it, I couldn't do it, I'm done, right? Then she wouldn't be able to do the monkey bars today. But the end of the story is Anna's a little ninja now, and that girl can do monkey bars like better than anybody I've ever seen. She's just like really, really great at doing the monkey bars. She did not quit. She kept going, and she kept getting better and better. She would go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and now she's a little ninja. So, and that's what we have to do. So don't make failure your ceiling, and make anxiety and fear of failure, make it an alarm, but then see it correctly. Turn the alarm off and say, okay, failure is the cost. Is this the cost of success? It is the cost of success. For me to get to this next step, I may have to fail many times. I may have to fail at this. Like my page, my service page, I may put the first one out and it just be terrible and nobody buys anything. I may have to then tweak some titles, some pictures, some things that I say, and keep tweaking it until it does produce the result that I want, right? So I may have to fail 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 100 times, right? But if I fail, that's another thing that keeps people out of business, right? Because they'll say, well, you can't get good employees. You just can't get anybody good, and that's why I can't build a business, and you shouldn't go into business because you just can't get good help. And but see, that's a fallacy, right? No, you could go out there. That's a fear of failure. That's you've made failure a ceiling, so you're not going to go past that because you're afraid to allow somebody else to do something, right? That's another thing. I like to take on everything, and I think that it's like I have those fears, and so I do a lot of the stuff myself, and that's actually can't build a successful business doing everything yourself. You just cannot. So I'm trying to build this business from day one in a different way that is kind of apart from me. I build the systems, and then I allow other people to do the work. That is how we build a successful business, and that's how we keep doing the things that we want to do in life. So but back to this employee thing. If I hired 10 employees, right? If I hired 10 employees and I hired those 10 employees and I got several that just weren't good, right? Several of them just weren't good, but I ended up with 2 really A-plus employees out of those 10 that I tried, right? Well, now I've got those 2. What if I needed 10 really good workers? Well, then I had to get another 10. 8 of them were really bad, 2 of them were really good. And then I had to get another 10, and 2 of them were really good, 8 of them were really bad. It was the failures in hiring the people that led me. That's the cost of admission to get to the 2 that are really good. And when you get to that and you get those really good people, now that becomes leverage, and that becomes leverage for you. And now you have what other people don't. You have those 2 really good people, or those 4, or those 6, or those 8. Why? Because you failed 40 times. Because you were willing to fail 40 times, it allowed you to get to the 8 or the 10 that were successes. And the successes at the end of the day are all that matter. The failures don't matter. So failure, I want you to think of failure as the material of the steps that are creating the staircase to your ultimate success in where you want to be. The idea is that you don't quit, no matter what. Find something that you want to do, that you love to do. Anything, almost any business will work if you're passionate about it. What you don't want to do is go out and spread yourself so thin doing, and this is another problem that I've had, and I've seen it millions of times. Don't make the mistakes I've made. Don't make the mistakes other people's made, and try to do 500 different businesses at the same time. Trying to create several different streams of income and trying to, I'm going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Heck, I'm talking to you today because I've made this mistake. I am talking to you right now on this video because I think that I have to have multiple things going at one time. But had I, to be honest with you, and if I actually did not now enjoy this and think it was going to bring some tremendous value to you and to people out there and even to myself, then I would actually stop this right now because, I've been thinking over this 8 days of building the business that I have already cut out a lot of things that I was planning on doing and things that I had on my plate that I was going to move forward with, to pare down to be good at one thing and go at that with everything I got and build a successful product, sell it, then service it, period. But I'm keeping this, and it's good for you and it's good for me, just because I don't think it takes a whole lot of my time. I mean, it does take some time, but I can do this daily. I can, it's no different than a morning business meeting. I can do this, keep you guys in information, keep myself encouraged. I would really like to see where this network could go. I would like to see other folks just like you that's in this business providing content for this channel, for the well-being of other folks. So, the big thing that I want to get across to you is like not quitting. I know whenever, we had this property called the Art Loft in Carver's House, still have it today. When we originally had to take this thing that was like 50 years old, it had really good character, really good bones, and I could see it just being this really awesome vacation rental. And we had to renovate it. With a full-time job, running a vacation rental business as a hobby, plus doing the renovations, it was really taxing. I mean, it was taxing on me. It was taxing on my daughter, even just because, I had to really do my best. She was young, and I really had to do my best to spend time with her. So I would take her with me when I was doing construction, and we would quit early, and we would go and play putt-putt golf, and I'd take her to the arcade, and we would do all kinds of things because I wanted to make sure I was spending time with her. And we were just it was very expensive. It was a long process. I found this like picture. It's wood, and it had painted on it, "Don't quit," or don't give up no matter what. And I took that thing and I hung it in our garage so that on the wall just opposite of the door when it comes out. And I hung that up in there, and every day when I come out, I looked at that picture and it said, "Don't give up no matter what." And that's literally, believe it or not, how I got through that whole process. As painful as it was, and how I wanted to quit so many times. And I just kept telling myself, it'll be over eventually. Don't quit no matter what. And man, I am so glad that I did not quit. That picture actually hangs in the Carver's house today. Just when you walk through the door, it's the first thing that you see on the wall opposite of the door is "Don't give up no matter what." And that's what I want you to do. Is I want you to put something up, and I want you to build your business. I want you to stick to it. You will find the resources. You will find the knowledge. You will be able to get over the you will be able to use these failures as a stepping stone. So don't give up, don't quit. I want you to come up with a plan, an absolute plan when you get anxiety about, and this will go for anything in your life that you get anxiety about, right? Or worry about, or have fear of. Let your body do what it's supposed to do. It's an alarm, right? It's an alarm that gets set off in you, but you need to turn off the alarm and take the action. But if you don't know, if you've not set up a pre-action, a way to address the situation, then the alarm keeps going off, right? That anxiety. But if I have something pre-set up, right? A plan of action. Hey, when I get anxiety about this or fear about this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to think about it. It may mean I'm going to go write down immediately. Like alarms went off, I'm going to go write down immediately what it is that I am scared of or have anxiety about. And I'm going to take that very thing, and I may have to take and pray about that, right? I may take that to the Lord. I may have to write that down so that I could then take active steps to ask myself good questions, right? Should I be scared of this? Am I not going to be able to accomplish this? Is this something I should really have anxiety about? Because what you do is when you ask those questions of yourself, you'll give yourself really good answers. But don't let that stuff go unchecked, because it will take you down. It will keep you from being successful, because it will be your ceiling, right? Where you'll be like, because you'll get to that point, and we'll talk about it, because this is another thing that Alex Hermosi talks about, and I don't know where he got it, but it's this curve, right, on, like this optimism that we have, uninformed optimism that we have about a business when we get into something, right? We watched a YouTube video, we heard something, we're like, yeah, we want to be in this business, right? I want to do this. And we have this uninformed optimism, right? Somebody told us that we were going to make thousands of dollars doing it. We don't really know anything about it, but it sounds really good. So we get involved, and we have this uninformed optimism. Then once we get into it and we start down that road, then we find out it's not exactly what they said it was going to be, and there was a lot of things that we didn't know. So now we have an informed pessimism, right? As we go down that. So going up, the uninformed optimism. Then we go down as we find out what's going on. We have now an informed pessimism about what's going on. And it's right here at that bottom point, right? When you get there, it's at that point right there that you'll either quit and go back to the start and try something different with the uninformed optimism, and you'll start the process all over again. Or you'll take the things that you just found out and you'll say, okay, well, this ain't all I thought it was going to be at first, right? There is stuff I don't really care for in this, but there is things that I like, and if I took these actions, I can get past this point. And if you can get past that point, that bottom point, you'll start heading back up, and that's where success is. So don't let this fear of failure, right, be your ceiling. Don't fail right here at the bottom. Try to remember, because we've had videos I've talked about before, is about putting your why. You need your why you're doing this. Anything can be overcome. Well, you don't like cleaning cabins. Well, you don't have to clean cabins or condos. Get a cleaner. I don't like selling. Okay, you don't have to sell. Find a different way. Do a different avenue. Send mailers. Do paid ads. There's different forms of advertising. You don't have to sell. Get somebody else to sell. Make it an all online process. Make videos of you selling so you don't have to sell in person, right? Find a way to overcome the things that you don't like so that you can do the things that you do like, because maybe all you care about is the guest experience, and that's what you really want to do. Or you really like cleaning cabins or condos or beach houses, and that's really what you want to do. You don't really care for the other stuff. Well, there's ways to overcome that, right? So, or you're wanting the income to be completely passive. Well, there's ways to do that. Just don't let failure be your ceiling. Let it be the material of the steps that get you to the success that you want to be at. When the alarm goes off, create your plan of action so that when the alarm goes off, you can take action. You can turn that alarm off. You won't have no anxiety, right? So you start having anxiety or you start worrying. You're doing that, you continue to do that, is because you don't have a plan of action, right? So there's this uncertainty. You don't have this plan of action. You don't know what to do, right? Well, you have to pre-plan that, and you have to take action. So even if you don't know what to do, it's really at that point where you really got to start writing stuff down. You write it down immediately and start forming a plan of action to get over that thing in which that alarm went off for. And if you do that, it will shut the alarm off, and you'll be a lot better off. Your health will be better, your well-being will be better. And just remember, we all have bad days. We all have hard days. And what gets me through my hard days is when I'm having a hard day, and there's sometimes you're just not going to be able to, it's just like one thing after another is going to happen. It's going to be a hard day. The one thing that I think about is that, even though I'm having a hard day today, I know good days are coming, and I know that there's going to be more normal days than bad days, and there's going to be some absolute great days equal to my bad days. Equal to my bad days, there's going to be these like great, overwhelming victory days. I know it's coming. It's coming. It always comes, and I know that, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, no matter what, everything is going to be all right. And if I look back, into the past, I've never had to worry about anything. I never had to think, there was nothing ever worth worried about because I made it through it all. Bad things are going to happen. Hard things are going to happen. I'm going to have to deal with hard things. You're going to have to deal with hard things. We can get through it. This is day 8. Building the business, and what I'm working on is I'm working on building that services page. And when the alarm went off, what I did was I started, instead of just starting to build the page on the website, instead of just doing that because I instantly got anxiety. It's like, am I doing this right? Do I have the right things going here? I immediately left that and went over and started writing down, as I'm the avatar, right? Like I own cabins, so what would I want from my vacation rental property management company? What would I need to hear? What would I be looking for from them? Obviously I want to be 100% honest. If I don't have something, I don't have it. What I have to offer is what I have to offer. If it's good enough, it's good enough. If it's not good enough, then I need to get better, because if I want to be in the business, I need to offer a good product, right? I'm not going to fill people with lies about, oh, we're the best. You'll have more occupancy. You'll make more money. I can't guarantee that, right? There's too many variables in the vacation rental business. You can't guarantee anybody they'll make anything. I can't guarantee from one year to another what my cabins will make, but what I can guarantee is that I don't sleep. I don't lay down. I'm going to go out and do the research. I'm going to do the hard things. I'm not just going to coast through. If your cabin or your property is with me, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to find a way to make it better than it was when it started. And I'm always going to find ways to get occupancy. I'm always going to find ways to be able to, get, the most money without ripping people off. right? There's a balance there. Sure, I can get $400 a night, but that will be at a 2-star rating, right? So you have to balance your rates with how much, with your rating, right? And so sometimes there is a cap on what a property can do, and no property is created equal. They all don't have the same furniture. They don't all have the same location. And where this, I tell you, really the only place where it's apples to apples is in a condo, right? Like, I can compare my condo to other people's condo within the same building because we basically have the same location. We have the same amenities. So therefore it's comparable. If there's a building next door, again, it's kind of comparable depending on amenities, right? But for things like, individual properties like beach houses and cabins, they're not created equal. They don't all have the same view. They don't all have the same road drive in. They don't all have the same neighbors. They don't all have the same amenities. They don't all have the same furniture. They don't all have the same. So it's a very variable business. And so when creating that page, I want to be honest. I go and write down things that I can do, like that we do, and what I would want to hear. And I'm going to take all of that, and then I'm going to basically throw it into with some AI and see what I can craft to be able to make sure that I'm hitting all the points that would be important to someone looking to get a vacation rental manager. Because remember, never you always want to get help. If AI can help you, you want it to be honest and good, but there is a way to craft things that you actually do that you might even miss and not really think of when it comes to points that you might need to address. And I'll talk a lot more about AI and how I use AI every single day to help me, not only with crafting ideas, but also building websites, doing social media with these videos, things like that. AI, speaking on, because this is about failure, AI is the greatest failure of all time. And that's what makes it so good. Do you know how an AI learns is by failing, right? So an AI gets to as good as it is because it fails 1 billion times and finds the greatest probability of success. And therefore, whenever you get to going to type in your query of whatever you're wanting from AI, it already knows. It gives you the best answer because it's already given the wrong answer 1 billion times, and so it has learned how to do the best answer. And that's just a very simplistic explanation of how AI really does anything. If I put an AI in a grid of squares and I said, here is success, here is failure, and here is a part you can't go into, and here's a place where you lose points, and here's where you get the most points, and I said, now find me the easiest, best route that can get you the most points, then it would fail 1 billion times before it gave me the results. It would go and fail and fail and fail until it reached success, to where it found the shortest path to get the most points without failure. That is a very simplistic model on how AI works. So for AI, failure is the material of its steps to ultimate success. It's also the material of our steps to our success. It takes those failures to actually win. So don't let failure be your ceiling. Let it be the material of your success. And that's it for today. And let's talk about something else tomorrow. See you guys.